Sylvia?
Are you
So
ready, Alice?
I got a report from Chris.
And Chris, yes, Chris sent
I
hers
got a
in.
report from Brittany. Thank
Why is
you,
it doing
Anil.
that?
Okay. Meeting is officially called to order at 5:09. The League of Women Voters mission statement. The League of Women Voters Corpus Christi area is a nonpartisan grassroots civic organization which encourages informed and active participation in government, works to increase understanding of major public policy issues, and influences public policy through education and advocacy. So at this time, Liz, can you verify the quorum, please? The quorum?
Yes. Okay, Liz is here. Alice.
Here.
Sandy. Y'all could say yes. Okay.
Here.
Sylvia,
Here.
Julie,
Here.
Eli,
Here.
Brittany,
Here.
Alex.
Here.
Okay, that should be everybody. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That should be everybody. Did I miss
And
anybody?
we have Catherine, who is
Yeah.
ex officio, and
Mhm.
we have let's see who else.
Sally.
And
Right.
we have Sally as an observer.
And we
Okay.
have Annelle as a non-board, as observer too. So yes, and we have a quorum of 8.
Yes. I do want to mention that I have been sending or asking to have our future officers who have agreed to serve. I have been sending them an invite to the meeting, just in case they want to be part of it. I think it's important that they, when they have an opportunity, that they can tune in and just listen, if nothing else. I sent, I think Armand, because he's program person that's going to be taking over. And I also sent, yeah, Julie, we got you. I also sent Ann Tryon, who I believe has agreed to be the secretary, an invite. Now, I don't think she's going to be coming on for this meeting for sure, because she sent me a message saying that she tested positive for COVID. And she had been very sick. We talked one day and she told me she had been really, really sick. And then she sent me a text message yesterday saying that she tested positive for COVID. So she's not going to be here for sure. And we do have Ruth has logged in. Okay, so we want to get started. We have a few things to discuss. And I mainly wanted to get those reports out of the way. If you have reports from the various members, if you would take the opportunity to read their reports. If any of you want to add anything to what you have already sent in, you need to let me know. But for the sake of time today, I'll just allow y'all to read those reports in your leisure time. If everybody is in agreement with that, then we will move on. Any objections to that?
No objections.
Okay, thank you. Anybody have any additions to anything that you've sent in? No additions? Okay. So with that being said, we're going to get started. During this meeting, we were supposed to take a look and vote on our bylaws committee submissions.
Alice, I need you to stop a second because you skipped too far ahead. We need to take care of the roll call, and I mean, we've already taken care of the reading of and approval of the minutes and the treasure. Do you want to do the treasurer's report too, or do you want to push that all down? But we definitely need to get the reading and approval of the minutes.
Okay, we can do that. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay,
You did receive Liz's minutes. I hope that you were able to
Yeah.
take time to
Yeah,
read those
Uh,
minutes.
I move for
Anybody?
approval.
Okay,
who was that?
Sylvia
Sylvia,
Campos.
Okay.
do I get a second? No second? Okay, I do,
Second.
who said that?
This is Eli.
Eli says second. Normally, we learned while we were in Dallas, a lot of things don't have to go through raising of the hands if nobody has objections. But I did want to ask Liz, when and looking on page 2 of your minutes,
Mhm.
down toward the bottom, where it's Sandy and Catherine together. And you had page 20, and then you put bylines or policies, question mark, question mark, question mark. Can you tell me what that means or what you needed there?
I have no idea. I did not understand what was going on. I was writing as quickly as I could. We can remove that if you want to. It's fine. It's one of those things where I honestly didn't understand what was going on. I'm just trying to get everything down.
Okay.
Yeah, I didn't see a point, but okay. Thank you for bringing that
Well,
up.
she's
Yeah.
has it down by Catherine's name. And I don't know if Catherine remembers or if it's important. It says Catherine suggested asking members to vote online at Club Express.
Yeah,
Page 20. Bylines or policies. I guess that's what should be bylaws or policies.
I
Section
didn't
3.
know. I didn't know which one it was.
Okay. Catherine, did you have anything to add to that?
No, I'm sorry. I don't have the minutes in front of me, so I'm gonna have to, I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay,
Look
well,
through
we'll just move ahead. All in favor of accepting the minutes as written?
well, let's go ahead and then clarify then. Hold on, let's see.
Well, nobody
Uh,
knows. Sylvia,
Yeah,
nobody knows
'cause-
what that's
yeah.
all about.
Yeah, because I ended up leaving early. Remember, I left right after my report.
Well, if the people whose names are besides the comments, if they don't know, then there's no way we can clarify that. Now, we can read it and
Uh-huh.
assume some things, but I have no idea what the red means. And maybe it is just that it was policies or bylaws. Maybe that's what you were indicating. I'm not sure. But it says, section 3 under 1 and 2, Sandy will
Yeah.
make an amended budget and it will be placed online for members to approve. April 8th, Sandy to rework numbers for approval by members. Alice
Yeah.
will work with Sylvia and Brittany to place this information and voting opportunity online.
And as far as I know, the only thing I did after that was forward it to people because it was approved. I don't know that there was maybe one change, but it got changed and sent out. I have no idea what's happened since.
Yeah, and
I-
I sent the voter, I sent out the voter and there was, no one questioned, so I'm assuming we
Well,
don't
I
have any
just wanted
change.
to clarify what Liz put in red.
Okay.
That's, I mean,
Yeah,
I don't know that it's that important that, we need to take time on it unless somebody opposes it and wants to do some because we can go back to the transcript if it becomes necessary.
okay,
Go
I have a
ahead.
suggestion. A suggestion was made to me by Chris, is just take out that sentence. Page 20, bylaws and policies, section 3, under 1 and 2, just take it out. The only reason why it's in there is because then we made a motion on that information. Because Julie Rogers made a motion to place the amended 23-24 budget online for voting by the membership. Eli
the-
seconded the motion.
But the voting didn't actually take place because I didn't send it out for voting.
No, the motion was passed to do that. That's all I know. That's all I know is that the motion, Eli seconded the motion and the motion passed. And I listed the
Well,
people who voted for it.
Okay, but there
So,
was no action done.
It
Well, I
was
can't
done
put
in the
that in
field.
there
It was
because that
done in the
wasn't-
field because Brittany put it on the website.
Mm-hmm.
see,
Okay,
I can't,
Brittany did put it on the website.
I
okay.
can't put future
I
items.
see what it
on
is.
Julie?
I can see kind of what. So I couldn't print anything, one of my many computer problems today. But in the minute, she says what you're talking about. Thank you for pointing that out. And she says she wasn't keeping up with which, but what it is it's the bylaws and it's on page 21
Mhm.
and it's Article 6, Section 1 and 2. And that's what we were talking about. It was just so that's in this workbook. And I was referring to that. That's what it was.
Is it policies or bylaws section, Julie?
Bylaws.
Bylaws.
It's bylaws. Article 6. And it was section 1 and 2.
Okay, then I can just correct that. I'll just
Okay.
correct that. If that's okay
All
with
right.
y'all, we'll just do with corrections and then we can vote on it. Is that okay with y'all?
That's fine.
Okay,
So
Okay,
let
you
the
got
records
it?
reflect, let the records reflect that that should have read bylaws and
Mhm,
bylaws,
Mhm.
Article 6, Section 1 and 2.
That's correct.
Mhm.
got it.
So you need to scratch through the Section 3 and place in there corrected by saying bylaws, Article 6.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, I've got it. I'll reprint it so it's in the archives. I'll reprint it so it reflects that. It's not a
Okay,
problem.
so is everybody in agreement with the corrections made?
Yes.
All right, minutes stand approved as corrected to read the bylaws, Article 6, Section 1 and 2.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you for
That's
looking
why I
that
put it
up.
in, that's why I put it in red. So somebody will say, what are you doing? This is what needs to be there, so. Anyway, not a problem. Happy to do it.
Okay, all right. Treasurer's report. Sandy, do you have a treasurer's report?
I have submitted the March financials and the April financials. Everybody should have them. I sent a little write-up, which is fine. The only thing I'll say is if you want to buy a sash, you want to buy a bag, come to the annual meeting. I want to sell as many of them as I can then. Preferably for check or cash.
Okay,
I'm not sure whether we'll have a running credit card. That's next on my list, is to try to get our credit card thing changed.
Okay,
Other than
so-
that, I'm here for questions.
Okay, anybody have questions? Were you able to look at her report?
I just had a comment. I know we kind of messaged this back and forth, just about creating a possible online merch store to bring in maybe some additional income, but I mean, that can be for like another time, but I just want to bring that back up.
yeah, I like that. Thank you for bringing that up. I've always felt that that was needed.
The problem we have with an online merch store right now is we
Mhm,
file a very simplified tax return.
mhm.
If we get ourselves, we currently have 2 days during the year we can make sales and not pay taxes on it. If we go through and we'll have to start paying taxes, our income tax return will become more difficult and it's something you can look at. It's going to be harder and harder to find treasurers probably, the more complicated you make the tax return unless we hire somebody to do it. That's been the holdup. Basically, we can technically sell tax-free 2 days a year. We can choose what those 2 days are.
Hmm.
But other than that, we start having to pay taxes on what we bring in.
What if we just
Interesting.
open up like a pop-up merch store for those 2 days? So in addition to like maybe even if we're like at the Women's Equality Day event and maybe we have, you know, the physical items there, but then maybe we also have like, hey, this is our pop-up merch store online just for this specific day. Get these exclusive items. 'Cause you'll
That
never
would
get them
work.
again.
The only issue I mean, the only thing somebody would have to explain to me is how if they buy it on the online store and pay the online store, I know to give them the sash at that meeting. You know.
So, and I can bring this in a different meeting, but the store, so they would purchase it at this online e-commerce store, and we just have like maybe a design up there that's thrown on the t-shirt or a mug, and they print and ship it. They handle all of that, and we don't
That would be-
handle.
As long as we could shut it down after the day, I mean, and again, it's just, I'm sorry, I have not gotten to the point where I've looked into all of that and to see how much difference it makes to get
Yeah.
the tax return thing. And I'm still looking for a better way to pay by credit card, honestly, but
Okay, yeah, I just want to bring that up
yeah,
again.
no, I mean, if we can open it for a day and shut it down, I'm all for it.
So, that would make our lives easier if we could have somebody else do all of the particulars and we just have that open. What I'd like to maybe suggest is, why don't we do some, and I don't know if it's needed or not, but I'll do a little bit more research on when and how and where and what it would entail for us to put it up for a day or the two days of our choices of the year, and then come back and have a report on that, and then maybe we could vote it down, up or down.
That sounds great.
Julie?
Yeah, and there could be a difference as opposed to when you buy it or when you make a donation. We all
Yeah,
pay taxes if someone is, you know, if someone writes $100 for the voter ad or rather for voter guides, it's a donation. So I've seen other groups too that you can, you know,
Well, you
put
give
it
a
up there,
premium
but
for a
you don't put a
donation.
price. It's like, you know, however much you want to donate from $0 to, well, I don't know zero, but because I don't know the rules. But
Yeah.
I believe that you can get donations and not have to do that tax thing. And just an
Let me
idea
ask,
out there while y'all think about it.
well, do you think that if we just have a suggested donation of $10 or 15 or more, that would work?
We could, you know, investigate like
Okay.
we've got two
Okay, so,
good
okay,
legal
that's,
minds here, and they might be of a different, you know, concentration, but those one words can make differences. So I don't know, but we could check. Yeah.
yes, Brittany, I have two. And so, why don't we, go ahead and, Brittany, do you think that you would have time to research something like that and bring it back to us and report to us on that? And then maybe we can put it on the agenda, and if everybody's in agreement, we can take a vote on that and then pursue it. Yes.
Yeah.
Sandy?
Before we do anything other than the 1 or 2 days,
Uh-huh.
I'm sorry to put it this way, but we need to talk to somebody who knows about tax law, because
Mhm.
it is
I
it
agree.
is not something we want to mess around with. And I am not a tax lawyer. I'm certainly not a sales tax lawyer. And I know KEDT, if you give a donation, you can get a premium, quote unquote. But I don't know if they pay taxes or whatever it is. And so I just want to make sure if we do it, our backs are covered legally,
Okay.
because it's
I
an
agree.
area I don't want to mess with.
Yeah.
And Brittany,
Okay,
I can help you as well. I have some attorney friends that are handle 501c3, so we can
Okay.
probably be able to
Right.
to, work on that if you want.
Okay,
Yeah, that sounds good.
so can we just maybe put you on bring up for a meeting, and what's this? Our next meeting will be not this meeting that we're gonna have our general membership, but the retreat
Mhm.
would be in June? Or
June or July.
June or July. So, yes, I agree. That's something we can discuss for the retreat, and then that will give you and Sylvia time to do some research and ask some questions to find out where we stand on all of that.
Well, and it's also a preface for the upcoming, convention that we're gonna be having. It'd be a great selling, tool for us to make money if we can iron all this out beforehand.
Okay, Elizabeth, let the records reflect that we would like to, that Brittany and Sylvia are going to do research on the Merck
Mhm.
store.
Mhm.
And we will revisit this at our retreat. And that way we'll have a little longer time to throw things around with the information that we're going to be receiving. Okay. Thank you for that. While we're talking about money, it's not on the agenda and I keep forgetting, but Chris had asked that we do an honorarium to Mr. Garcia for the work that he did on our I think it was the Spanish guides. He did I think some proofreading and some
I
stuff
thought he was the
on.
layout guy, is it?
Well,
Layout?
I don't know who it was, but I know she mentioned his name as Mr. Garcia. I can't remember the first name, but she had asked that we would consider that. She was just asking if we would consider giving him an honorarium for the time that he spent because of his expertise. And so I keep forgetting to put it on the agenda. But that's something also that I would like for us to have a brief discussion about. And at one of meetings in the future that we take a vote up or down, whether or not we want to do that.
Do you want
Okay.
to call for a vote right now? What do you
No,
want
no, I don't.
to do?
No, I don't. I want to have just a brief discussion if anybody have any questions about that.
Okay.
And if not, then we can put it on the agenda at a future
I
meeting.
have a quick question. So it
Mhm.
wasn't Nick Jimenez, did he volunteer or, I don't mean it bad, but did he expect an honorarium or something?
I don't think he was. I think that with just based on my understanding that he put in a lot of time with the proofreading, I believe. And Alex, I don't know if you know anything about this or not, you and
Yeah.
Eli, but you want to
I-
speak about that?
Oh, yeah, sorry. I mean, well, my only issue with that is if it's with proofreading, we already paid for professionals to do the translation. That wasn't really needed because they have multiple levels of like layers of proofreading themselves. Eli, correct me. I'm trying to remember. I think there was an email. Is this possibly the person who helped Chris with the layout and the Adobe stuff?
Okay, yeah.
It's layout.
I just know it had to do with the Spanish guides.
Okay.
So I'm not real sure about it. Why don't we just do this? Why don't we just put this aside and let me talk to Chris again and get a clear understanding because I think she sent a note or something to me that we would consider an honorarium for him. but I'm not real sure exactly what he performed because I really wasn't that involved with the layout and that kind of stuff. So why don't we just go
That-
ahead and
yeah.
just put
I
this
mean,
to the side?
It's kind of
Liz,
like the
just
donations and taxes as well. That also is going to involve different streams
mhm.
that has to do with 501c3s and tax laws. And, you know, the thing is, like Eli and Alex and Chris all worked really, really hard on it. And I don't know, we're trying to get more volunteers. And if you start rewarding one or another, and I'm not meaning to, I don't know, it just seems like it could be an odd precedent to set. And I won't be on the board next year, and I will be volunteering, but that would be my biggest concern over it, is that
Okay.
I always like, one of my favorite things to tell people is the thing that is different than us is we're grassroots and volunteer based. It might not seem like we get as much done as other groups in town, but that is also because no one gets paid. It's all sweat equity. And everybody up here works really hard. You know, Alice, Sandy, Sylvia, I don't mean to discount anyone, and I wouldn't want to discount that person, but you know, it comes with the territory.
Alex? And then I'll get you, Cassandra.
Yeah, I agree with Julie. I don't think we should pay someone, or I don't think any of us as board members can like say we're gonna pay someone for volunteer time because it's volunteer time. But obviously we just need to confirm with Chris who she's talking about. If it's layout, I found in an email that the person's name is James Garza. So
Okay,
I'm
James
not.
Garza, that's right. That's right.
Oh, okay.
That's who it was.
Yeah, I mean, so I agree with Julie. I don't think that we should give James, I mean, we should send James a thank you note, but I don't think we should give them money.
Sandy?
Well, I'm basically, I think, saying what everybody else is saying, which is, if we hire somebody to do something, I'm willing to pay them, but I don't like the idea of having somebody do what is volunteer work and then say, gosh, you did such a great job, because you get yourself into pickles where people want to be paid, even though, there's no discussion about that up front. And so
Yes.
I
I
think that's
agree.
kind of a hard expectation, which is not to say that he may have been invaluable. I don't know, but it makes me a little nervous.
Anybody else? Well, we'll just consider that as a moot point. We won't tap it any further, and I will get back with her on that because she did send it to me. Did she send it to you, Alex? Were you looking at? Okay. Oh, then she sent it. I
Talked to
guess
me
she sent
about it, I think.
She did? Okay. Well, she sent me a note on it, and so I keep forgetting to bring it up, and I had vowed that I would do that again. So as far as I'm concerned, I will have a conversation with her and let her know that the board didn't feel like that we should do something, set a precedence like that at this time. Okay. All right. Okay. So everybody had Julie's program report. You didn't have anything to add, did you, Julie, at this point, other than what you sent to us?
No,
Okay.
it was the proposed program that was published in the voter, and people have received it, and we voted on it already.
Yeah, that was last month. We did that last month, didn't we?
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I know.
Well,
Yeah.
it just says to vote on the at this meeting, but we've taken the vote. Everything's good.
Okay, so
The
the
only
vote's
other
done
thing
and-
is, we do have that meeting tomorrow with the city on the bonds, and at the same time, the library board meeting is tomorrow, and I think some observer corps members are going because there will be discussion on some books that are under consideration for review. There are 4 books, and one is going to get moved from young adult to adult.
Yes.
The person that made the request, he doesn't mind telling his name, is Sean Flanagan, and he wants the book removed from the library.
Yeah, and that's not gonna happen. I don't. No. Okay, moving along, Alex sent her report in. Alex, did you have anything to add to your report since you sent it in?
No, I don't. Sorry
Okay.
that it was late. My bad.
Okay, all right. I did notice, let's see. I was reading through it and I just wanted to make sure, that report went out to everybody that should have received that. Let me see here. I usually print the reports because it's easier for me to toggle back and forth with paper than it is a report. Okay, if you have nothing, we'll move on. I did want to give Brittany an opportunity to give a report. Brittany, I asked Brittany to, or she volunteered to chair our meeting, our general membership meeting on the 23rd of this month. And I'm gonna allow her some time to let us know where she is on everything and if she needs any help.
Of course, someone calls me just as they can wait. Yeah, so we met last week or the week before last to discuss the dinner plans. We decided on a potluck, but we're doing a sign-up sheet. So you should have received that second email that extended the deadline. We have 8 people that have signed up for it. I know Sally proposed having 2 more meat dish options, and I still need to run that by the committee. I know we're trying to really mitigate any type of food waste. So not sure if we'll move forward with that, but we do have a sign up for 2 meat main dishes and then 2 vegetarian main dishes. And so far, Sandy has signed up for one of the meat main dishes, and I signed up for one of the vegetarian main dishes. So that's going along. And then people who have questions, they've been emailing me. So that's been great. We're planning on coming in early from between 5 to 5:30 to start setting up everything. And that was mainly the food. But I will also come in early if we might be doing Zoom. I know and now set up a Zoom link for those who may join in through Zoom. So I want to make sure all the tech and everything is good to go before the meeting gets started, so we don't have any issues like we did last time. We will have a table outside of the in that hallway area for people to come in. They'll sign up, and then Sandy, that's where we can also set up the sashes and everything. We'll have the donation jar. People can donate there, and Eli's going to be at that table signing people in and selling anything. So if we're going to be we are going to be selling the sashes. I know last time we did I think Venmo. So there, I guess we'll just need to work with you on how people are paying for things.
I don't think we've ever done Venmo.
Or whatever the app was. I know at the Women's
We had
Equality Center.
Square.
Square,
Square.
okay. Yeah, so having that set up at the table, so probably if you can get there between 5 to 5:30, we can get all that set up and make sure it's good to go.
Let me talk to Annelle.
Okay. Yes,
Yes,
Liz.
Liz.
I don't mind whoever does the sign up sheet. I did it in the past because I have to have a tally before we can start the business part of the annual membership meeting to make sure we have a quorum. So it's important that time, I don't mind if Eli wants to do it. I don't mind sitting there with her and doing it whatever you want me to do, but we've got, in order to make the meeting official, we have to have a quorum.
We have to have
Okay.
a quorum to do business, yes.
Mhm.
Well,
Sylvia?
yeah, I think if we have the list of the membership, and then as people are coming in, all we have to do is just, highlight the ones that are in, and that should easily. That's not good, Liz. I'm looking.
It's hard because you're flipping through pages trying to find names and making sure they're spelled correctly.
Alphabetical.
What's worked for me in the past is I just have out a sign up sheet that says, please print clearly, sign in. But I can try the other way. It's just in the past when we've done that for other events where we're trying to flip through to find, did you pay? Did you not pay? People get impatient. And if you're not understanding what they're saying, they get impatient and they get mad. So those are my concerns. But however y'all want to do it is fine by me.
What if we print the roster and then they can just find their own name and sign next to it?
Right. I mean, that's it. You just print the roster, and if your name's not on there, that means you're not a paid member.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and then we can handle that.
That's the way to do it, because there's some specifics about that 1/5. That you have to be a certain type of member. I forget what, a paying member,
Yeah.
and students count. So anyway, that's what we have to be real particular about, those numbers. It's the most important part.
However y'all want to do it, it's like I keep saying, it's fine by me. It's just in order to begin the meeting, to conduct any of those businesses, such as the policy, the bylaw, accepting the budget, you've got to have a quorum.
Right. So if you have a printed list by last name of paid members, they
Mhm.
just sign by their name, I guess. And that should take care of it, I would think.
Yeah, like I said, however y'all want to do it.
Yeah, because we have 126 members, right?
Right.
Well, and so we need what, 30% or 25?
I thought we needed a
1/5.
fifth.
Is it 5? Is it 1 and
It's a fifth.
5? Is it a fifth that have to be?
It's a fifth.
We have to have
Okay.
25,
Okay,
25, right. So,
maybe 26.
That would
okay,
be-
so Sylvia, can you print the list for us?
yes. Well, I mean, it's printed now. That's what y'all get every month. Y'all get a printed paid list every single month. So, but I'll
Yeah.
print
Well,
you the current one.
Yeah, but I'm talking about for the meeting, to have there at the meeting.
Right, I'll print it. And I'll give it to you.
I know.
Yeah,
I know Annelle had a sign-in sheet. She had some league with a logo on it, sign-in sheets. But I'm good with whichever way you want to do it. If you want to just put the names on there and have
yeah,
everybody
and I can print,
initial off.
if we know who's coming, we can print their name tags if, that kind of makes it nice too, but it's
Yeah.
however y'all want to do it.
Maybe the committee could deal with this and
Yeah.
do that.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So according to your report, Sylvia, thank you for that. We don't have any associate members, right?
No.
Or that's the Friends of the League?
We have 2 friends of the
Two.
league.
Okay.
Mhm.
Well, we may have one because I may have entered somebody who's giving money on a regular basis, and I just realized today because I went back. So we may have one, we may have 2, I'm not sure.
Okay,
Well, it's because
Okay,
it
so,
comes from PayPal and doesn't tell me what it's for. And so
Okay.
I've got to go
Well,
find out.
they're just not considered voting members is the deal.
Right.
That's the good thing about the list is if you had it sorted, you would be able. So, which if 1/5 of 125
It's 25.
25 members.
mm-hmm.
So we just have to make sure we have 25 people there and that it's noted correctly.
So we will leave the list in the hands of of Brittany and Sylvia. Okay, so you
Ah.
guys will be responsible for having a list, in whatever configuration that you choose to do. Have a list there at the sign-in table.
And we
Right.
may have some people join there, who knows?
That's true. That is true. Okay. Now, I will say to you, Brittany, you let me know what you need. And because I haven't signed up to bring anything, I was waiting to kind of bring up the rear. So let me know what is on that list that you would like for me to bring, and I will bring it. Okay? All right.
That sounds good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. And if anybody else wants to sign up for something, please let us know, because we do want to try to have kind of a controlled, as Brittany said, controlling a waste. And then a lot of people walk out the door and leave some, whatever they brought, and it may be a half a dish or something. And it's, then we have to find somebody to either take it home, or then we throw it out. And with just so many people starving now, I just don't want to see that done. Okay. All right. So, Brittany, was that all you had to give us? There is, okay.
Yes, and then there was the voting on the amended budget. So I will send out a reminder email on Wednesday. I was just trying to avoid the email fatigue with me sending out so many things about the potluck. So I'll send out a reminder email on Wednesday. And so far we just have 8 people. Well, I think 8 people have voted on the website, and 2 people who I believe sent me an email to let me know that they voted yes.
Okay. I didn't see that on the website, but did you indicate that they could send you an email, Brittany?
I did not. I think they responded to the league's email, and then it was forwarded to me.
Okay.
But they do need to log in, and then once they log in, they'll be able to see the poll to vote.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you so much for taking the lead on that. I really do appreciate it. Any other comments on that? Okay, Ms. Elon, did you they them, do you have something on your, you didn't send in a report, and that, does that mean you don't have a report?
Yeah, I had to cancel the meeting this last month, and so I don't really have anything to update.
Okay.
But I am helping Brittany with that committee for the meeting, so we are looking at it through a DE&I lens. And
Okay.
hopefully I'll be able to report more next month after we have a
Okay.
committee meeting.
Well, I will say, Eli, and for the rest of the crew, this DEI lens was really stressed very heavily at the convention. And so I appreciate, yes, thank you so much, that that was a really big deal that we went through at the plenary during our meeting. And so we cannot lose sight of making sure that everything we do is seen through the lens of DEI, and that includes everybody. It includes people who are in wheelchairs. I mean, it's all shapes, sizes, and conditions for DEI, and we want to make sure that we are all inclusive of every section or every condition that DEI brings to us. So we need to always make sure that we're doing that. Thank you for that, Eli. Okay, so voter services, Ms. Flukie sent her stuff in. Did you have anything to add, or? Alex, where'd she go?
Hi, yeah, I don't.
Okay,
Or I guess, yeah, Eli's been immensely helpful with voter guide, etc., voter forum stuff. We've been meeting every Friday, 11 to 12. Anyone, if they're interested, is welcome to join us. Our next upcoming deadline is May 15th, where we want to have our questions prepared for, yeah, and we're also really trying our best to be as accommodating as possible and work with any glitches we had the last time. So But yeah, May 15th, we're trying to get our questions confirmed for the candidate forum as well as the voter guide and just be as ahead of schedule as possible. I'm reaching out to the translators to make sure we can work with them again. And I'm reaching out to some contacts I made. Where are we meeting? So we either meet over Zoom, Sandy, or I can share the Zoom link with you, or sometimes I'll head over to Eli's office as well. And we also have my office if we need it. But yeah, ongoing, and we're catching our breath before November. So yeah, that's it.
If you would send me a reminder of your meetings, I will try. Fridays is a day that I typically don't have scheduled meetings. And so if you would send me a reminder or whatever, I will be more than happy to try to make it, especially if it's going to be in the noontime hour. So I appreciate that. Just keep me in the loop and I'll try to show up.
Okay.
All
will
right.
do.
Okay. So we've had Sylvia's membership board, and Chris is not here. He's had cataract surgery, and so she will not, she's not here. So what we need to do is take a look at the bylaws committee. Met a number of times, and we kind of thought that we had everything lined out. But as always, there's always some snafu in there. So what's going to happen today is Sandra and Sally. Is Sally still here? Anyway, is going to go over the document. We are supposed to vote on that document. And so there was some last minute, not things that didn't get done or something or whatever. So we need to make sure that we are all on the same page, and Sandra and Sally are going to kind of walk us through that.
Sally, you want me to go and then you'll comment?
Yeah, go ahead. I don't have anything in front of me. I didn't get an agenda packet, but I think I can follow you.
Okay. What Chris sent out, and I'm going to show you mine kind of, I don't have it on the screen, but I've highlighted things so I can go through it real quickly. And this is basically the changes. And the only change that needs to be made, I think, on this in terms of the bylaws is in Article 6 financial. Essentially, what we have tried to do is change it so we can meet in June and change the financial provisions a little bit, and changed so that the officers essentially, I noticed that we have them taking office upon election. It probably should be upon taking the oath, but they're in as of the time they take the election. I mean, they win the election. In order to make sure that we have continuity. So in the first article, the one thing that I just want everybody to know about that is our name is League of Women Voters, Corpus Christi area. There is no hyphen, there is no of, there is no anything. Our name is League of Women Voters, Corpus Christi area. So that was a change we did to make it correct. On the officers, basically Article 4, they're taking office as of the date they're elected, essentially. The treasurer, we have added some language about the treasurer. This is just essentially to make sure that we don't have any issues with our tax-free status in Section 6. What Chris has in there is what we added. On the meetings, we added a provision so that we can change or add meetings as necessary based on things that happen or don't happen. That's the board of directors and when we meet, so we can have special meetings or not have special meetings. Article 6, essentially we had an issue about whether the amendments to an existing budget had to go through committee or not. So we have amended the bylaws to make it clear that amendments to any budget need to be approved by the budget committee. To that end, what we have written there where it says any amendments to the budget may be made, provided it should be amendments to any budget. may be made provided. So that's the one change in what we have in front of us that I know of. Okay. And then the second part of that, the end of that, was that the board secretary or her or his designee who will work under the direction of the board secretary will basically send out things to the membership. The financial oversight committee was changed a bit so that it's clear that essentially the financial oversight committee needs to do it within 45 days following the annual meeting or upon resignation of the treasurer. This provides for two separate committees, an initial oversight and then a subsequent oversight if the board decides a second oversight committee is necessary. That was just clarified a little. The Internal Revenue Service these provisions are there to protect make sure it's clear that we need to protect our Internal Revenue Service status, our tax-free status, our 501c3 status. And these are all things that will helpfully give guidance on making sure we do that. The nominations and elections it requires an appointment within 60 days of the annual meeting now. That's just to make sure the appointment gets made. And the last one, the Article 12 amendments, we essentially took out the reference to when the annual meeting is held, so that if we change the date of the annual meeting again, all we have to do is change it in a couple places. We don't have to change it everywhere it appears. Everything is timed from the annual meeting. That's about it. But the only change to what is in front of you in terms of summarizing the bylaws that I recall, and Sally's going to correct me on this if I'm wrong, is in Article 6, where it's amendments to any budget may be made provided, as opposed to any amendments to the budget may be provided. That's about it.
I'd like to add here that, go ahead, Liz.
Okay, so I'm looking at the sheet that Chris sent out because I need to get this straight from the minutes. Where was that about? Is it the proposed budget upon approval of the board shall be sent to all members? Where was that change that you just said was the only one?
Okay, Article 6, financial
Yeah.
administration.
Yes.
Go to the part that's underlined that says any amendments to the budget. It's down, there's a big long paragraph, and then you get to numbers 1 and 2. It's right above number 1.
I see it. Okay.
That should read amendments to any budget.
Amendments to any budget. Okay.
Right.
Thank you. Thank you. Okay, go ahead, Sally. Quiet. Thank
I'd
you.
like to add at this point, and others can either verify or not verify that this is the case. What you're looking at right now was sent to membership in order to meet our notification obligations, our 30-day notification obligations. And they were sent out by Sylvia Campos when she sent out the voter. And I think we got in right under the wire. At least if we didn't, we have some fallback positions. But so far as having affected that notice, that 30-day notice or something substantially meeting or conforming to 30-day notice has already been accomplished with regard to membership. Are we all on the same page with regard to that notion?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I don't know whether Sandy has our proposed policy, our policy amendments in front of her, but we never got from Chris a final corrected version of what we had worked on in order to move or to transpose our changes to bylaws into policy. And I'm going to let Sandy take it from there, because that does not have to go to membership in advance, but it does have to be approved by the board. Sandy, you want to comment on where we are with regard to that policy draft?
Well, I haven't had a chance to talk to Chris today. And as I'm not sure, in fact, on this thing that we sent, whether we have to make that amendment from the floor or not. I guess I'm gonna have to find that out. But I know we had a draft of the policies. I know they've come back and forth. I just don't know, you know, Chris is having eye surgery tonight, I think, isn't she?
Today, yeah.
And so, but I know she's been working on it, but we are going to have, we've got to get a final copy of that to everybody, and we may have to have an email vote on that at some point. Unless I talked to Alice, and I guess this is where Alice needs to step in, about whether or not we should just have a special meeting to do that. It should, hopefully it would be something where we get it out to you early, you can look at it, we can have the meeting, and it can be over except for whatever discussion there is, so that it wouldn't take very long, but that would allow us to comply with our necessary path.
And we would like to make it clear to everybody that from a standpoint of transparency, we're not making any changes to policy that are outside the scope of the changes that we made to bylaws that you've already reviewed.
And can I say too that changing when we have our annual meetings, there is a thread that goes through the policy, and that's the only location in the policy that we need to address in terms, because as if I can remind you, well, when Chris agreed to take on this, she said she was not going to mess with policy, period, full stop. That was her comment. She would help with the amendments. So, but having said that, we cannot just draw the curtain down on these amendments that have been made in the bylaws, because we have to have something that addresses the policy in terms of when we have our annual meeting. So that one section, and I'm not sure which one it is, has to be addressed in our policy in order for everything to line up properly. And so what Sandy has indicated is that we can agree on what we have in our hands today and look at the policy between now and the 15th is when Chris wants all of the, got all the information so that she can send out the voter with dates and with these changes in it. So what it technically would have us, or what we would have to do, is agree on these changes that have been identified by Sandra, and today, and then have the that policy that is affected by the change in the date that we have our, or the month and the date that we have our annual meeting. Yes.
This is not something that is highly substantive, and it's just a matter of, I guess, just formatting. In the past, we have not underlined or highlighted or redlined the changes to policy when we have printed them in the workbook. And I introduced the notion to the committee kind of late. There wasn't any voting on it, but it's not the kind of thing, it does not change the way we do business. But if we were to highlight, however it is convenient for Chris or whoever is going to create the final PDF, if we either underline or in some way identify those changes in policy, it would be very helpful to my mind, to future leadership, so that it doesn't get overlooked. We had it overlooked at one time, and it might, I can't say that that had we highlighted or talked about those policy changes, that they wouldn't have slipped through the cracks. But if we do it and we call more attention to it, it satisfies both the spirit of transparency and notice. And I think it would be a good idea.
Well, technically, I'll let you have a word, Sandra, just a second. In all of the organizations that I've ever been a part of, when the policy changes, it simply is identified as a line through. And the text is in red. There's a line through it, and then the new the corrections or the changes that were made. And I think that is important simply because it gives, like you said, Sally, anybody coming on after whoever was involved in those changes will know when that something had changed, what it was, what it went to, and if there's any future changes, you can see that line of progression as things change. And I think that is important. We don't throw anything away ever. We always keep it, we redline it, and not highlight, but we redline through those changes in red. The print is red, the red line is red, and that way people know that that has been changed. So I'm in total agreement with that. Sandy?
I just wanted to say two things. One, we changed the bylaws both based on the date of the annual meeting and some of the things having to do with the treasurer and the finances. That is another area. In terms of printing it in red in the book, the only thing I wonder about is how much that will cost, because you're adding color into a book. It may be better to just underline where changes are made. Just my 2 cents. So it gives you a notice of where a change is made, but it's a little cheaper.
Well, anything to defray cost, but still be effective, I think that that's important. And I think that's something that Chris had made a recommendation that we do, but it's in all black with some kind of underlining. But that's the policy. Any other comments? Liz, did you have your hand up?
Yeah, real quickly. Okay. Something was just said a little while ago that about working to make sure the policies reflect the bylaws. Did I misunderstand? And I understanding that correctly? That
Yes.
that's something we need to make sure we do. And will all this be done by May 15th?
It's
Well,
already
it's only-
done. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead. Sandy, go ahead.
We did that in all of the meetings and the emails. We're just trying to get it proofed and correct on a piece of paper where we can all see it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So why are we meeting? Why do we need to meet before May 15th for that? Is that just for the committee?
We don't necessarily need to meet. That can be done. What we're talking about now with the policy can be done in an email.
Okay. Thank you.
Okay. But these bylaws, they have to go in the book.
So I think we have to approve the changes to the bylaws
Yes.
before they're presented to the
Right.
membership. So I think
I
that
just want to get all those questions out of the way before we take that vote. Julie?
I was going to make a motion that we approve the amendments to the bylaws and the forthcoming changes in policy that will conform to the changes in the bylaw.
I'll
Got
second
that,
it.
Liz?
Could you repeat that again, Julie? I'm sorry.
That's okay. I'll make a motion to approve the amendments to the bylaws and the forthcoming changes in policy that conform to the changes in the amendments.
And I'll second that.
Well said.
Okay, it has been moved and second that amendments be accepted to the bylaws and any the forthcoming changes in policy that conform.
Forum.
Okay. Basically, what is being said is that the bylaws, the policy should agree with the bylaws. That's basically what we're trying to say. So all in favor of the motion being made by Julie, who seconded?
Sylvia,
Somebody second? Okay, Sylvia seconded. All in favor, please raise your hand. You can raise it on the screen or you can raise it on your, see, 1, 2, 3, 4. Sandy, are you voting?
I was gonna suggest we change the motion, but we went to a vote before I had a chance to do it because
Oh.
I don't see how you can vote on forthcoming changes you haven't seen. I'm sorry. That bothers me a little.
Okay.
I think we have
Anybody
to do
else?
the vote and then you have to do a motion
Yes,
to
yes, we do have to do the
change
vote.
it. There's not.
Okay, all in favor, please raise your hand. 1, 2, 3, 4, 6. Okay, it has been moved in second that we accept these. There is a question on the floor that agreeing to changes before we can see them is probably not a good thing. So we need to rectify that and then take a vote.
May I make a suggestion or a proposed amendment?
Yes, ma'am, you can.
We can do it probably subject to ratification, whereas once they're published, if everybody basically ratifies it by email, then it's done. But it would need a majority of a ratification. I have no problem saying you guys trust us. I appreciate that, but it concerns me that you don't even know what changes we're going to make and you're approving them before we do.
And we allude to that, but you're right.
Yeah,
it needs to be
because it was
specified.
said that the changes are, my understanding is that the changes are because they are they reflect the changes in the bylaws. So I'm just going on, it is not trust as much as, to me, that's is an explanation of why we're changing them. So that was why, but do what y'all need to.
Anybody else? Yes, Liz.
Okay, all right, I'm trying to get all this down. All right, we voted and passed the motion that Julie and Sylvia made. Then, but now we're going to
There's a question.
amend, we're gonna do another motion because Sandy has a question about that she wants to change the motion because she feels that you can't vote on future actions. Is that correct?
No. It's that I don't think you can vote to approve something you haven't seen, that you don't know what it is. Julie has described what she anticipates the changes will be. And I understand that. And I don't have a problem with saying we'll produce them. And if the motion says they will be passed, if nobody objects within 2 days, they will be considered ratified by the committee or something along those lines. But given that nobody knows exactly what changes we're going to make, it's how are you going to bring an issue forward if we make a change that says, and by the way, you're paying Sandy Sturba Boatwright $15 an hour to be treasurer?
Okay, so well, let me throw this out. Because, and I'll get you in just a second, Eli. Because the policy needs to align with the bylaws. And the bylaws are stating that we are are changing, and what I'm addressing is the change that would have to come about. So the policy that we are going to affect is going to be directly related to the change in the day that that we, or the month that we have our annual meeting. That is the change that is being referenced here.
And
So-
the financial provisions
Plus
and the financial
financial
changes.
and,
Okay.
and some additional obligations for the treasurer.
So
You lawyerly, how would you address this in a motion, or, because I'm not sure how to go forth
Okay.
with this.
let me try this and see how you folks feel about it, because again, and I apologize, but I believe in checks and balances. I believe in double checking things. I move that we approve the amendments to the bylaws previously discussed. Or I don't know if I need to, if that's part of Julie's, so you can say this is an amendment. But instead of approving forthcoming changes to the policies, I move that we require publication of the policies to all members, and that if there is no objection to those policies raised by email to Alice Hawkins, that they then be accepted by the board and approved by the board. That makes as little work as possible for me, for the board members, that I can come up with, but still allows everybody to review those and determine if they want to raise an issue with it.
So may I ask that what this amendment states is that it has to be ratified
Basically,
by the board.
well, it will be ratified by the board. The way I'm proposing it is,
Right.
instead of requiring an act to ratify it, what I'm basically saying is the board is required to have it for 2 days or 48 hours. And if no objection is raised, then the approval previously, expressed with confidence in the work we're going to do, will attach to the amendments. But if
Okay, so
somebody,
we need to nail down this language. Okay. And so
you can take Julie's motion and add on to the end of it, provided that
hold on. Provided that
no objection is raised by any voting board member or executive board member. I'm not sure which we refer to ourselves as. Within
okay.
48 hours, I don't care how many hours you want. 48 hours is what I suggested, because it's hard to get to something every 24 hours. But within 48 hours of the publication to the board by email of the proposed revisions to the policy
Oh,
guides.
Publications to the board.
I'm lost.
No, I'm with you. Let me just read what I have.
Okay,
So we would state Julie's amendment and then say, provided that no objection is raised by any executive board member within 48 hours of the publication. And that's where I stopped.
Of the proposed revisions to the policy guides.
Post.
To the
post
board.
provisions,
Proposed revisions,
revision.
amendments, proposed amendments.
To the policy guide.
To the policy guides, right?
Is that the period?
I think you can put a period there.
Okay.
Might have to
Okay.
add proposed publication to the board of the revisions of it. I don't remember if that's in there now. But
Of the proposed provisions
revisions or amendments, put
Revision.
amendments.
Okay,
That's the word. we're
of the
using.
proposed amendments to the policy guide.
Correct.
Okay, so now what we need to do is we need to make this, make the amendment, and we can vote on the amended version of that proposal. So Liz, the
Alice,
first, yes, yes,
I'd just like to amend that, what you've just said, Sandy, is that it's not, this group is not the executive board. The executive board are the president, the treasurer, and the secretary. So
So the
leave
board.
out executive.
so I
Good
have
point.
here, did I say executive board?
Yes.
Okay, so I just leave out executive?
Say
Yes.
voting board members.
Yeah, I think I said that in an earlier rendition. I like that one.
Okay,
Say
voting,
voting board members, that covers it. That's what I
Okay.
have.
okay. So now we need to go back in and write this full amendment to Julie's original amendment.
Okay. Do you want me to
So,
read the whole thing?
yes,
Okay, all right. So I'm gonna start with Julie. Julie made a motion to approve amendments to bylaws and forthcoming changes and policies that conform to changes and amendments, provided that no objection is raised by voting board members within 48 hours of a publication of proposed amendments to the policy guide.
I think that, yes.
Uh,
Go ahead, Sally.
Perhaps we should qualify publication so that there's no confusion that publication is kind of universal, or it's in a publication. Perhaps publication to the board.
Okay. Yeah, well, that's what I have, within 48 hours of the publication to the board. That's what I
Okay,
had. Okay. To the board of the proposed amendments to the policy guide.
yeah.
Okay,
Okay, so would you read that one more time, please?
sure.
Thank you, Brittany.
Sure. Julie made a motion to approve the amendments to the bylaws and forthcoming changes in the policies that conform to the changes in the amendments, provided that no objections are raised by the voting board members within 48 hours of publication to the board of the proposed amendments to the policy guide.
I think the only change I would make from that, Liz, is when you say by the voting board members or something, I think it should be by any voting board member. I think any voting board member should be able
Yeah,
to
by
raise the
any
question
voting-
and bring it forward.
Why, okay, why? It's voting board members covers everybody on the board.
If a single voting member raises a question, then I think we have to meet on it and discuss it.
Okay, now I understand. Okay, all right.
Because this is a motion that we're passing now without having seen it. So
Okay. Okay, all righty. I think I've got it. Okay,
Okay, so just to be clear, Liz,
yes,
would you read that one more time so everybody can be clear and everybody can understand
Okay.
what is happening here?
okay, all right. Julie made a motion to approve amendments to the bylaws and forthcoming changes and policies that conform to changes in the amendments, provided that no objection is raised by any voting board member within 48 hours of publication to the board of the proposed amendments to the policy guide. That's
Okay,
one
is
word.
everybody clear? Is everybody clear on that?
That's all
Okay.
good, except for that's not, you're gonna have to say, when we vote on it, it's basically is a friendly amendment to my amendment, because that's not exactly what I said.
I thought we had to vote on my amendment to your thing and then vote on the whole
Yeah.
thing, but I mean,
Yeah, I mean, if we're gonna
Yes.
be that particular about it, I'm just saying.
Okay,
Okay, all those,
The way it reads
okay,
now is that I've added the provided that, which I didn't, and that's been made a
Okay.
friendly amendment. We need to vote on that and then vote on the whole thing.
all right. So how do I put that down?
You have
Yeah.
it, just take, somebody needs to move to vote on the friendly amendment, provided that.
I'll move to motion if that's the correct language.
Mhm.
move to accept a friendly amendment.
Yes.
Brittany.
Yes, yes.
Who said that? Brittany?
Brittany. That's perfect.
Second. Somebody gonna second?
I'm sorry,
Who
who
second?
second?
Sylvia
Oh, thank you.
voted to second, to accept a friendly amendment.
So do
So
I put
now-
with the, okay, wait a minute, wait a
So-
minute. So do I put with the friendly amendment? The friendly amendment is what we added to Julie's amendment. that
voting
ha-
on the amendment now.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes.
Now vote on the whole
All-
thing.
We're voting on the whole thing now.
Fine.
Is everybody
And that
good with
doesn't-
that?
And that
Okay,
doesn't need to be reseconded and everything?
It's been seconded. Somebody needs to make a motion to vote on the amended amendment. That's all.
the amended motion,
I move to vote
on the amended motion.
on
Okay,
the amended motion.
I
okay.
second. Julie Rogers, second.
And Sandy made
Liz?
the,
You ready, Liz?
I think so. I don't know. I've got so many things.
Okay, it has been moved and second that we vote on the amended motion made by Julie Rogers. All those in favor of the amended motion?
Friendly.
Oh, no, this is the whole ball of wax now. This is the whole ball of wax. All those in favor of amending the motion made by Julie that we provide well, what she says. All those in favor, say aye.
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 I
I
Maybe we better raise our hands.
okay.
Okay,
I see
who
1, 2,
seconded
3,
it?
4.
Because we voted on, we're gonna vote on the amendment.
Sil-
No, Sylvia.
It was,
Okay, Sylvia, thank you. I don't know how this is gonna read. Okay,
I think we can figure that out. All those in favor, raise your hand. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Sylvia, is that a hand raise or is that a thumbs up?
that's a thumbs up.
Okay, are you voting yes or no?
Yes means thumbs
Okay,
up, yes.
okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All those opposed, 7. Okay, the ayes have it. The motion carries. We will now, and basically what the motion does is we will amend the motion to say that once the changes have been made, anybody within 48 hours that objects to it, we have to come back to the drawing board. That's basically what we just voted on. Is everybody clear on that? Okay, all right. Any questions? Okay, it's good to see you, Mr. Armand Alex. Welcome to our group. And
Howdy,
there's
folks.
Ruth.
Thank
Okay,
you, Alice.
okay. So the policy will come as a result of us going back and changing the wording in that policy, and then you will be sent something in writing that you will have to respond back to on the policy changes.
Um,
Okay. I need to double check. Okay, there was something else we were supposed to vote on, I believe. Was that all? I think so. So we'll do the policy, we'll do the policy changes with an email, and we have just voted on the bylaws. You guys saw the budget, and that has been sent out, and the program. So I believe that that covers everything that leads us up to our meeting on May the 23rd. Go ahead, Liz.
We did not vote on the treasurer's report. And I'm not talking about the 24-25 thing. I'm talking about the basic treasurer's report for the month of April. Do we need to do that? Or can we just accept it?
No.
I
No,
think all the bylaws require is that I make a presentation of a report. I don't think it
Okay,
has
then
to
fine.
be, you
That's
guys can
fine.
throw tomatoes at me.
Okay, okay.
that was
Okay,
kind of something we learned at the I keep saying the national, we didn't go to the national meeting, we went to the state. Biennium. Okay. Are there any other concerns? Just to recap, so Brittany, Sylvia, diversity voter. So just to recap, Brittany and Sylvia are going to do a research for us on whether or not we can sell stuff, or to what extent we can sell stuff. And they're going to have that done by the time we have our retreat. Now, my question is, can we sell anything at our meeting coming up on the 23rd? Or can we set it up for donations?
We can, I was gonna make that our second sales day during the year, because I don't have anything else right now to set up. In fact, I have a check somewhere I've been holding for a while to deposit it that day. So that's that's why I want to get out, if you want a bag, you can dry lettuce in them. You can, put them over your head when you say something embarrassing so that you can hide from yourself, or whatever else. But we've got bags, we've got March bags, and we've got sashes. And I did an inventory, I will look it up, but we've got a lot of them. And I don't know what the original prices were. I think we're selling them for $15 each.
Yes, the sashes were 15.
If you want to have a maypole, you can put sashes at the end of the maypole. So, I mean, anything we can come up with to sell them, and make little seatbelt covers, sew them together around your seatbelt. So you have a cover that says votes for women. I don't care. But I'm just trying to clear out space in my closet and put it in everybody else's. So bring some money in
Okay.
while we're at it, I hope.
So that's going to be for our meeting this month, right?
The annual meeting. The annual meeting.
So,
Right.
so that we're going to declare that as one of our 2 days to sell for free, tax
Right,
free.
and then
Okay.
the other day will be the Women's Equality Day, which I think because our fiscal year runs from from June to May.
Yeah,
We
let's not
we
get.
get one more day before.
Yes.
So, right.
Okay. What I'd like to ask, Brittany, could you perhaps put a message out on the website that we will have whatever Sandy has to sell? Would you just put a message out on the board that anybody wanting to buy sashes, or what do you have, sashes and
Sashes and bags are pretty much what
and
I
bags.
have. That's it. We have no
they
more
will be
buttons.
sold at the annual meeting.
Okay,
Or are we gonna put a price on them this time, or are we gonna do the donation thing?
No, these we can sell.
Or,
Because
okay,
these, because it's our second day, we can sell them. And you know, if we come up with something else we want to sell before, then that's great too. If we want to do shirts or something and take pre-orders, or you know, we can do that, or buttons. If we had I know we were talking about getting buttons for the league,
mhm.
but I don't know if we have time for that, but anything like that we can sell, I'm happy to try to sell then, just as long as I can basically aggregate it on that day.
Okay.
Okay. So Brittany, if you could just put something out there on the website that we will have that stuff available at our annual meeting on the 23rd. Anybody wishing to purchase sashes and or bags,
sent a
they'll
picture
be
to-
available.
Chris, do you want a picture of them?
Yeah,
I
or
may have it.
maybe a picture. I know I have some pictures of people in their sashes. I think that would be a little bit better if we have like
Okay, that's
people
good, yeah.
pictures of with sashes or the bags you were speaking of.
And one last thing, Brittany, on the meals and the meal. Do
Mhm.
you still need people to donate?
Yes, there's still several items that we need for people to donate. So I think we still have 2 other main dishes that we need. So 1 meat and 1 vegetarian. And
Yeah,
then
I signed up for the meat, so you just need, I think, another vegetarian.
okay. I
Okay,
can
well-
always make 2 vegetarian ones, it's fine.
And you don't have to, if you'll let me know something, give me some kind of, I can pull out, I got plenty of cookbooks, I can pull out something. And even if it goes wrong, nobody will really know.
That sounds good. Let's make
Okay.
sure to put your name by the.
Okay.
This was cooked by Alice.
I can put my name on it, but who's gonna know whether it flopped or not?
True, true, true.
Okay,
Brittany, you can put me down for the soda and all the water. I can do all that.
Okay.
there
And
was a question.
Brittany, I think I did fill out on the list to bring the dinner plates, the paper plates and the utensils.
Yes, I saw that. Thank you.
Good. Okay, just wanted to make sure. Okay, great.
Okay, I have one question, and I think this maybe Catherine might be able to respond to that, or Sally, or one of the seasoned persons. When we put our budget out there for agreement, yay or nay, do we have to have a quorum agreeing to that? That's on the that's out there on the website.
Yes, you have to have a quorum. That's why it's so important to have the sign-in sheet. So we can, because at the beginning of the meeting, when you
No,
open
this
it,
is before the meeting happens. This is the one that we put out there for them to approve. That's on
the
the
final
web. that's-
approval comes at the annual membership meeting, to my understanding. My understanding in putting everything out there online on web was to give the 30-day notice. It wasn't necessary for them to vote on it. It's simply, here's the information.
The membership had to vote on the amendments, and that's what I'm talking about.
Right, but they're gonna vote on it at the annual meeting.
Not the amendments to the 23-24
Now, I
budget.
don't know. I'm out.
Sandy, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah, I haven't voted on them. I'm ashamed to say I missed that totally. So I've got to go vote on them.
Okay.
I
Well, my question is,
don't know.
do we have to have a quorum of the membership for those 2023, 2024 budget amendments?
I will say I talked to Elaine at the convention, and I'm kind of questioning whether we need to next year. I think we've got it in our stuff to do it this year, but whether or not the budget is simply a guide, according to her, it's not something that necessarily, has to be amended in her ideas. So I don't know that we'll
Sally?
need to go through it
Okay,
again.
we're talking about approval of the budget at the annual meeting. Is that the subject matter, Alice?
No, we had to amend the 2023-2024 budget at one of our meetings.
All right, okay.
And we did an amendment at the meeting. We had to rephrase, just like we did this amendment here a minute ago, we had to rephrase that amendment, and it had to go out for approval. And so we put it on, was that the website or was that the email? Brittany, what was that you told me you only had 8 people?
That was on the website.
So, but was that the 2020, that's the 2023-2024 budget amendment that we had to do, right?
Correct.
Okay. So my question, and I'm not sure about this, is does that have to have a quorum to pass it?
So it doesn't say in the bylaws, back to that section that had the red and the minutes and all that. That is Article 6, Section 3. It just says amendments to the budget may be made provided proposed changes have been sent to all members at least 2 weeks prior to the general meeting at which the change is to be discussed, and final action by the membership is taken at a succeeding meeting or via email and telephone vote conducted by the board secretary. And that's why we put it out for the vote, which has been done.
I think any
That's
vote
the
though,
final
that we take
action.
to be effective has to be has to have a quorum, which means
And
we just
that's-
need to all get our little rears on there and vote.
Yes,
Well, you would think that, but you can look over the bylaws and
that's
I
my
make
point.
changes again. I don't see it in there. So
Well,
So just so that we can cover ourselves, I would ask that everyone on this call or on this meeting, go to the website and vote to approve, vote yes to approve the budget amendments and get off. That's all you gotta do.
And you have to log in or you won't be able to access that. So it'll be under membership on the website, and there will be a tab that says annual membership meeting. Click on that, you'll be able to go and vote.
Can I get a commitment from everybody to go and do that? If we have 8
Yes.
and we add at least what, 9 or 10 to it, we should meet our threshold.
yeah, if you want the quorum as defined for just the annual meeting, that's all it talks about, a quorum and a quorum of the board. A quorum for the annual meeting is 1/5 of voting members. That's
Which means we-
25 people. So that if you want to apply that to this vote, that's how many, 25 minus 8, what's that? 17?
Well,
I can try to handle it. You try to pull some people. I think we can get.
oh,
that
good.
done.
Brittany put the link to Club Express in the messages.
Good deal.
Okay, so if I hear no objections, then can I depend on everybody to go online and cast a vote? Can I see a thumbs up or hands up or,
I think I'm already done.
okay. Armand, can you put your hand up, please? Thank you. Okay,
Aye.
and Ruth, you can put your hand up too. Everybody on this call, if you would go online, if you haven't already done so, and vote to approve or accept the amendments for the 2023-2024 amendments to the budget. Okay, very good. And if I'm, yes, Sally, go ahead.
It's been a while since I think I voted on this. Is this the one that Brittany put together that was so seamless and went so well for those of us who accessed it?
Yes, ma'am. And that was the one I remember you emailed about this. I believe you did vote because you sent an email right after.
Okay,
Yes. Yes.
Apologize for the interruption, but I just wanted to make sure that I understood what we were talking about.
Yes, that's what
Yes,
we were
ma'am.
talking about. So if
But
you've done that, I want to thank you.
Well,
for your
you've got
vote.
to log on though. You have to
Yes.
break into the system to do it.
Yes, yes. Okay. Okay, all right. Well, at this point, does anybody else have any other business to discuss? Okay, Sylvia? You're muted.
Yeah, I just want to remind everyone or just inform the people here that are interested. June the 8th, we rescheduled the People's Assembly. If anybody's interested, it's going to be at Del Mar. It'll be, I believe, from 9 to 5. And just you're welcome to come and attend, and should be a very interesting and pro people assembly. Change comes from the bottom up. We are one of those great organizations that believe in the power of democracy, and this is just reinforcing that. So just a reminder, and I'll remind people as I see them, or if I can text you separately, that'd be great. June the 8th, put it on your calendar at Del Mar at the Harvin Center.
At what time?
From 9 to 5.
Thank you.
So, so I can safely assume that we can come based on the time that we have, right?
Right,
Okay. Because that is an all-day commitment.
it is,
Yes.
but there'll be food.
So you have to time it just right to get there and get the food and spend a little time and then feel like
Yeah.
you've done your civic duty. Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
Okay.
Okay, our time is up. If there are no other concerns, I believe that we have covered our, the things that we need to cover for this time around. Last words, last comments, Ms. Oler, go ahead, please.
I just wanted to reiterate from Chris's report that she mailed, and just to remind everyone that when her due dates are for the voter, and make sure that those are in place. And so again, just a FYI, remember that needs to be done.
Yes, thank you, Catherine. She has asked that everybody have all of your stories, all of anything you want to put in by the 15th, I believe, right?
No, she says
Was it the 15th?
No,
The
it's
12th?
12th.
Okay, by the 12th of this month, have any inserts that you want to put in the paper or the voter, please send that in by the 12th so that she can get her stuff done and get it out to the membership before our meeting, before our final meeting. So mark your calendars for the 12th of this month for any submissions or information that you have for the voter so that she can get that done. Okay, see a lot of thumbs up. All right, if there be no other announcements, thank you, Catherine, for that. I had that on, she had sent that and I totally forgot to announce that. So I thank you for that. Anybody else? Okay, it is officially 6:53 and the meeting is now adjourned. Thank you, everybody, for all the work that you do.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. I
you.
am so appreciative.
Thanks.
You guys are the greatest. Give me a
Thanks, y'all.
call if you have questions. Thank
Is
you.
there anyone
you.
that might be able to stay on to help me navigate how to vote on the website?
Oh, yeah, well, when you go to the website,
Yes, ma'am.
League of
I'm there
Women
now.
Voters Corpus Christi,
Logged in.
there is a
Mhm.
button up at the top, membership or members.
Membership. Okay.
So members, I think it's up in the upper right-hand corner, members, and you click on
Perfect.
that. And then you log in.
Yes.
And then once you log in, you will see, what did she say it was?
It's members
seen it.
annual membership meeting action item.
All right.
Yes. Oh, there it is.
Ah.
And
Okay,
then
good.
yes or no.
Oh, perfect.
Yes.
That was so convenient. All right. Thanks,
I
y'all.
know, right?
Perfect.
Thank you. Who did that?
That was me.
Brittany.
Awesome. Thank you.
Did you
Thanks so
find
much,
it?
So there
Alex.
you go.
Yes, I
All right.
voted. Thanks, y'all.
Okay,
Have a
well,
Okay.
good
it's
night.
very hidden in the corner, but once you know where it is, it's easy.
Yeah.
That's
Yes.
good.
That looks
Thanks,
good.
Alex. Bye-bye.
All
All right,
right.
thank you, guys.
Thank you,
Bye-bye.
everybody.
Bye.
All right. Picture speaks 1,000 words.
Good job.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. All right.
Hey, Alice. No, never mind.